everyone. Welcome to our presentation on the future of work. I'm Igor Stano from the founder of Universal Dot Foundation. And on the call, we also have Juby Joseph Ninan. Today, we'll explain to you how we foresee the future of work. Everything starts with a vision, and our vision is to revolutionize the future of work and empower individuals. So if we look into the future, 10 years from now, what I see is that how people approach work will be much more different than how people work in the present. So I foresee, like, let's say 10 years from now, people will be able to access an application onto which they can create a profile where they can state what are their interests, their skills, what kind of things they like doing. And you'll have digital organizations from all over the world. They'll create tasks, and people will be suggested those tasks. So you can wake up in the morning and you'll be shown a list of tasks that you can do for the day. And if you fulfill those tasks, you get a payment automatically. That is how I foresee the future of work to look like in a nutshell. So based on our vision, we foresee that there are some problems in the way how society is currently organized. So if we look at how organizations currently are working, typically they have three structures, what we call person, tasks, and organizations. So people are people that work for the organizations, tasks are what they do, and organization is who they work for. So people typically in the current environment, they work for single organizations. So there is a talent lock-in into that organization. Also, there is a localized reputation. So if the people decide to leave that organization for a different organization with a different vision, they cannot take their reputation to the new organization. And typically what we foresee in a lot of organizations, the hierarchical career advancement. So in most companies, people try to climb the hierarchy, which in a way decreases the productivity of their work. In terms of the tasks that people do in the organization currently, there is a non-transparent task value. So nobody's clear about what is the exact value each person contributes to the organization. There's often misalignment of evaluation and task performance, and which all of these problems kind of lead to loss of productivity. And in terms of the organizations, how organizations are structured is that they currently exist in silos. So a lot of companies are maybe trying to solve the same problem or solve a problem that has already been solved in the past. So these silos organizations kind of lead to a loss of productivity on a societal level. Also, what is happening is companies have to constantly reinvent themselves, and that can be a challenge if it's a very big organization, because it takes a lot of effort to change the direction of the ship of the organization and try to reinvent that organization in a new way. And another way how organizations work is that typically the larger the organization, the more management layers it has. And all these management layers just manage the work downstream, which is not a very productive utilization of people we foresee. So what we foresee into the future in terms of people, task, and organization is we foresee a future in which people can work for many different organizations, so they can utilize their talent to solve problems for many different organizations. They can also transfer their reputation from one organization to another, so there is no loss of reputation. And all their previous work history will be transparent to everyone. So all the tasks that they've completed in the past, all the organizations that they've worked for, is transparent to everyone. In terms of the task, we provide increased work flexibility. So because we allow people to work for many different organizations, that increases work flexibility. The one benefit of using our application is that we automate a lot of overhead. So payments and contracts are automated to the platform, and we allow anybody to participate. So we don't how our application is implemented is that we have pseudonymous users, so people don't have to reveal their true identity. As long as their skills match the task demands, they are allowed to fulfill the task. And as we mentioned previously, organizations, we foresee that they are started based on a vision document, so people can see what organizations are about, and they can agree to contribute to that organization based on the vision. In our application, there will be less management, so organizations will be much more flat, and people will be productively involved in the organizations. and we can source and tap global talent from all over the world, which is currently not the case because most organizations work in a localized environment. So the solution that we've provided is based on a decentralized infrastructure. The reason is for this is because we wanted to create an unstoppable application that is run and supported by a community of users. How tasks and organizations are recommended to people is we've implemented machine learning algorithms that basically recommend tasks based on profile interests and skills. And we also use smart contract escrow payments for payment of the solution. So if you go to the solution that is currently available at universal.me, you'll see this landing page, and you can try out the beta version of the application we've developed. So here we have a profile of a person called Alice, and Alice is a UX designer at the Designer Hub. What she has on the platform is she has a reputation, which is how we track how much productively and positively she's contribute to the application. And we have cryptocurrency, basically the currency that she's earned or to the platform. Also, another field that she has available is her username, so she can be Mr. Bond. She doesn't have to reveal her true identity, and she can input her interests and update her profile that is then written to the blockchain. And if she goes to a dashboard page here, she can see what are the tasks that are recommended to her based on her profile, and then she can choose to start and complete tasks based on her own preference. That is, in a nutshell, the current MVP of the platform. And I think now we'll continue to Juby with the rest of the presentation.
So we think now is the right time for us to launch this application. We see several factors that are accelerating this trend towards freelancing, towards the gig economy. From a social perspective, like we see, like after the COVID-19 pandemic, there are more people that are turning towards freelancing. The great resignation, where many employees have recently quit their jobs and are looking for other kinds of opportunities, something more fulfilling. We also see there's been an increasing trend of this digital nomad type of workforce and lifestyle in the last couple of years. Uh, Technology also has played a key role in accelerating this trend towards remote independent work. There's been in the past couple of years much more advancement in remote communications, but also from a technology perspective, new cloud and blockchain based businesses have been set up. And also lastly, these digital marketplace platforms that is also rising up more and more. From an economic perspective, what we see happening in the market is also there is growing inflation. We see the wages for employees are developing at a very slow pace. From an employer perspective, they are finding gaps or shortages in labor. So these are some of the trends that we see externally in the market, and we think that our application, our platform can fulfill many of these gaps. Can you go to the next slide, Igor?
Yes.
From a market perspective, we see there is a large opportunity. We see that freelancing is still mainly offline, and there are, let's say, issues in the traditional way freelancing has been done. So just to say some numbers based on some research that we have done, we in the US and Europe alone, it's 20 to 30% of the working age population that are involved in freelancing or independent work. This equates to around 162 million people. Now, in the US alone, like in 2021, uh, the freelancing income that was total freelancing income was around $815 billion. Now, out of this $815 billion, around 115 billion was the kind of market that was addressed towards more digital freelancing talent. So think about it like from the perspective of creators, the creator economy, or like people who are freelancing and creating videos or doing translation and interpretation services. So you can see some examples over here. And that's the kind of target market that we're trying to address as well. And lastly, like what you also see is like it's only 15% of the current freelancers that are using digital technologies and our digital means of working. So this is trying to show that there is a large opportunity. And some of the traditional challenges or hurdles that we see organizations face in this respect is like finding the right talent, being able to collaborate with freelancers, being able to negotiate deals. And of course, from an individual or freelancer perspective, the challenges are about finding the right kind of customers and winning the job and making sure that the payments are done on time. Uh, so we think our application can solve and overcome many of these challenges. And this is the kind of change that we are envisioning that will happen once our platform is being used. One is like from the freelancer side, it's no more the individual that is seeking work, but now work is seeking individuals. So based on the machine learning recommendation engine, tasks are going to be recommended to users. There's no more the idea of late payments, because when an organization creates a task, payments are going to be escrowed. And these are all smart contract based. So on execution of a task and completion of the task, the payments are going to be transferred. Another interesting feature, or let's say benefit of this platform, is like now you have your proof of expertise as a freelancer recorded on the blockchain. So what does that really mean? Like the tasks that you complete for the company that you worked for, all this information is recorded in the blockchain, and it creates like a digital profile of yours or digital reputation of yours. Now, on the right side, what you can see is some of the benefits like that we are bringing towards, let's say, the organization. So now you don't need to restrict yourself to a local talent pool. You can have a broader source of freelancers. There is limited manual recruitment activities involved. Now, tasks are going to be recommended to the individuals. So you don't need to think about how you're going to hire and recruit people. Lastly, the payments or the pricing of tasks, it's going to be derived or it's going to be determined in the end of the day by the global market. So you will find the most competitive kind of pricing for the kind of right quality of work that is going to be available. So these are some of the challenges that we see we are overcoming. Over to you, Igor, for the roadmap.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. So on the last few slides, we'll just explain what is the current roadmap and the status of what we've developed so far. So in terms of features that we've developed, so we completed one grant by the Web3 Foundation. We built a minimum viable product that you've seen previously in the demo. This also includes a technical architecture, also open source code that is published online for everybody to read and verify. And we've also accepted for a second grant by the Web3 Foundation. Last month, we also launched a testnet. So this is the features that have already been completed and what is in progress currently. We intend to deliver a version 1.0 somewhere in November. So then is our main launch, so official release. And until then, we'll continue the product development and we'll run some marketing campaign to increase our exposure to the outside world. And who is the team that is developing this product? So I'm the founder, and we have a team, experienced team of software developers, and both on the product side, creating the product and the software. So I think that's in a nutshell. So if you feel you need to reach out, please do on the information displayed on the page. Thank you very much.